Hello and welcome for round number 12 of the iRacing Formula Renault 3.5 Challenge on Apex Racing TV. Live from a staple of open wheel racing, Autódromo Carlos Pace, Brazil, a place no stranger to thrilling season finales. I'm Alessandro Laidonne, alongside me, special guest tonight, Sam Fitzpatrick. Marco Barbanera will be, as always, working on beautiful cameras from the production booth. First of all, we would like to wish Austin a good recovery. He is not here tonight. We are looking forward to having back from next season. But Sam, Interlagos and season finales, a guaranteed treat. It's gonna be absolutely a cracker today.
Definitely. Yeah, this place has hosted some pretty awesome season finales over the years, and it's really good for single-seater racing. Pretty much all racing, you get some brilliant side-by-side action, long straights around this place, but it is possible to defend as well. And yeah, I'm sure it's a circuit that many of these drivers are familiar with.
It's the race we have been all waiting for this week in the Formula 1 3.5 Championship. A very high strength of field for tonight, and we can give you a quick rundown also of the point situation, since we have 3 drivers that are actually fighting for the title, who are James J. Pinsker, Edward Samborski, and Greg Olson, both very, very close on points. We are told that it's practically whoever wins this race will be the new Formula Renault 3.5 champion. So it's gonna definitely be very, very interesting and spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a big deal to win this championship. I mean, this is one of the highest quality official series in iRacing, and to master this car takes a long time. It's a real tricky car to be able to manage. Also, with maybe the downturn in the MP4-30 and the IRA1 having a few issues, I mean, this is kind of still the premier single-seater in iRacing. So yeah, if you can win the title, that would be a huge deal, and that's something that these drivers have been aspiring to for a number of series. Number of seasons, apologies. So yeah, this one will be properly epic as the drivers are setting their qualifying laps at the moment. Fuller with a brilliant lap. I remember battling against Ben, I think, in the past and in the FW31, and he absolutely crushed me. He was so much faster than everyone else out on circuit. It was unreal. So if he's got anything like that, then yeah, he will be looking very good. He's 3 tenths clear in qualifying at the moment.
Absolutely, Ben has been very, very fast since he first joined us halfway through the season, and it's gonna be definitely there trying to spoil the party between our championship contenders and get that win that he has missed last week in Monza. So I'm fully expecting Ben to be up top, as we have still a few drivers that have to score their set their second lap time. James is definitely one of them. We expect him, Samborski, to move up a little bit in the grid.
Yeah, there's surely got to be more pace available for those guys, but I mean, it's a cliche, I feel like I say it in every single broadcast, but it is very close at the moment between about 3rd place for Garcia and then all the way for the rest of the drivers in the top 10. I mean, Paul Ilbrink down in 10th place. I mean, that's unusual to see Ilbrink, I think, certainly former runner-up in this championship. Not sure if he's won it in the past, but certainly has won many races in this series, as Ilbrink does move up into 5th place. What can Pinsker do? Car number 1, remember, he's got quite a bit of improvement to make up, and let's see if he can improve on this up. He's going to be one of the last drivers to reach the line, so whichever position he moves up to here will probably be his starting place.
All improvements in the sectors this lap, and moves up to 2nd place, 127.52 for Pinsker. 2nd place in front of Dani Calvo and Jorge Garcia. Masafumi Aburame was the latest driver coming across the start-finish line, and he will still be in 15th place. So the only Japanese driver tonight here at Interlagos. We always really appreciate the fact that all these Japanese drivers, some just joined this season, and they've been already very, very competitive and racing really hard but clean with all these drivers that have been around for multiple seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it must be about 6 in the morning for those guys, so good effort. That would be, I'd feel like the first step there to get out of bed, so that is a good effort there, and it's not a too bad a qualifying time, and it's a chaotic turn one we have here. It narrows up quite a bit through turn 2, and even turn 3 and 4 can be big trouble spots, so starting a little bit further back could sometimes be the place to be as the drivers are beginning to grid up.
Drivers slowly gridding up, as Sam was saying, but here are the gridding positions for today's event. Ben Fuller is our pole sitter, 2 tenths ahead of James Pinsker. Danny Calvo and Jorge Garcia in row 2. Fabio Carmo is in 5th in front of Paul Hilbring, trying to get that win that has missed for a long time here in our broadcast races. Greg Olson in 7th, Robert Harton 8th, Edward Samborski in 9th, Jason Enrique in 10th. Esposito, Ramirez, Vasiliev, Phil Reed, and Masafumi Aburame round out the top 15 with James Byrne, Marcos Alarcon, and Jamie Byrne not setting a lap time in this qualifying session. So 18 drivers, but what a bunch of drivers, because all drivers, apart from James Byrne, have more than 4,000 iRating, so this must be probably the highest SOF of the season.
Yeah, it's awesome to see just come back week after week. I mean, we see it mainly in league series, but it's also something in the official series as well. Just jump in and then they kind of get a bit disenchanted with the car by the end of the season. Maybe just take a little bit of time and then go again for the next new season. Nothing like that for this. We've got some of the best drivers that we've seen all season long on the grid for tonight's race. It's a proper champions of champions almost, and we also will have a good idea of who our champion is going to be by the end of.
Lights are on, engines are revving, and there we go. Green flag here at Interlagos. A great start for Ben Fuller. James defending the inside. Let's see if there are some big movers in this start. Tarton looking great in that Ferrari. Ooh, some contact. Another car is around. Enrique is around. Coming back on track, thankfully nobody else is involved, but really, really unfortunate for Richard Tarton. He had a great start, but he got caught in an early accident.
I think that was a massive load of net code there. I mean, that was absolutely huge. I think Tartan located in the US, so perhaps his ping a little bit too high, or maybe the European driver's ping a little bit too high right there. So that's a massive shame for those guys. Great start for Ramirez to gain 3 places. Good start for Phil Reed as well to gain 3 places as Olsen and Samborski, the 2 championship rivals, or 2 of the 3 championship rivals, coming to blows. Pinks go miles clear of these guys, so they need to stop fighting against each other too much, but Fuller is sprinting away. He is 2 seconds clear. I mean, this is one of the shortest laps we visit this season, and he's absolutely just cleared off. I mean, this is the type of domination that he dominated the Grand Prix series in, and it does make me feel slightly better about my pace there. These drivers are struggling similar to how I struggle to keep up with him, and he is absolutely clearing away. Further down the order, we've got Lopez Esposito trying to battle off Vasiliev down into turn 1, and yeah, Lopez will hang on to that one, but it's very close between these 4 drivers.
Yeah, great battles already here in the midfield, always very, very tight. It's gonna be difficult to pass on this track, so everyone will be definitely looking to make up as many positions in these opening laps, using also the DRS, which is always available during the track, during the lap 8 times throughout the race. So if you see this opening on the rear wing, means that it's not being used. If it's closed, opposite of F1, it is actually activated.
I never understood that.
Took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah, but to be fair, once you do get used to it, you're like, oh yeah, obviously, yeah, there's no gap. It's obviously open in that case. It's really, I mean, I haven't broadcast, I haven't commentated on this series for a few months, but it is really interesting to see these guys use that DRS. Also, how much downforce they use as well. Phillip Island, I remember, about 6 months ago, some drivers were running no rear wing, and some drivers were running full rear wing. It was insane how some drivers would pull away around the middle part of the lap and then lose it all down the pit straight. I think similar story here, and seemingly Calvo maybe a bit more downforce for his car because he was struggling to keep up with Pinsker down the straight. So that will make Pinsker a bit more comfortable because, well, you want a nice raceable car. You don't want to get stuck behind drivers. It is much more tricky to make the moves through the corners than it is down the straights.
Absolutely, and James also needs to keep an eye on his championship and having both Samborski and also 7th and 8th is definitely a big help, so he can actually afford to let him go. But here we are with Phil Reed losing a few places, probably a poor exit or a slowdown to serve as he dives onto the inside of Pavel Vasiliev and keeps P11. Great side-by-side action through these hairpins. They're always very, very tricky to go side-by-side.
Yeah, and you really want to try to make a bit of gap here with these couple of corners so that you're clear, because otherwise the battle can just maneuver. It's very tricky to kind of get away if you make a move around that part, because then we have this long turn 13 and onto the pit. It's one of the longest flat-out sections I think they have in Formula 1 all season long. But they're not really pulling away much. Only a few hundredths of a second pass on that last lap, but the break that he made on that first lap, absolutely fundamental. I imagine this might be a circuit where it's trickier to stay close than it is to follow, yeah, the staying close will be the terminal apologies will be more effective than the draft. Is what I was trying to say. So you don't really want to be stuck behind another driver as Orbaram and Alacon. Seeing one another, and that was Alacon up 3 places now from his start. The highest gainer is Francisco Ramirez up into 8th place. He's up 4 places, as you can see on screen, with our lovely graphics provided by SDK Gaming. Do you like these 3.5 graphics as they used to have in real life, as Tarleton, well, seemingly calling it a day?
Yeah, tough end of the season for Tarleton, and I might add that fortunately, we cannot get sued by Formula Renault 3.5 anymore because it's no more, so we are safe on the legal point. So on this side, we are really, really happy as James is still fending off Calvo and Garcia, both teammates, so they will be looking to work together to get P2 from James. But look at the lap times from the top 5, from Fuller to Wilbrink, all within 1/10. So you can clearly see how the pace between these drivers is very, very even. And this is even more remarkable in what Ben Fuller is doing, pulling already a 2-second gap lead in the opening 4 laps, having essentially all the DRS saved for the end, which is strategically a very important point if ever gets caught.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of want like a safety car. Unfortunately, we don't have any safety cars, but I just want Fuller to be pushed back into the order, because it does seem pretty close between these guys. But yeah, even if there was a safety car, as you say, he's got all the DRSs, so he could probably pull away by 2 seconds again on the first green flag lap. So yeah, he's absolutely dominating at the moment is Fuller. It would be great to see him in the World Championship series. I mean, I know that it's kind of just Porsches at the moment on the road side, with the IR01, of course, setting up its own series next year. I think the qualifying series probably in a few months' time. Hopefully we see Fuller in that, because he is properly talented. I honestly think that he could yeah, mix it with the pro guys, as we are going to see Greg Olsen here maybe lose a place to Dokame. That's not in the script. Here comes Dokame down the inside. Olsen's got to think about the championship here, and he has to give way, turned out of the corner. Now, it's not a good exit for Dokame. So there might be an opportunity to come back. As look at Samborski, the championship rivals, alongside one another. I think Samborski's using the DRS at the moment, and the door's been left open. Samborski might be up by a couple of positions. Down on the brakes, there's surely contact between the two of them. There is contact between the two of them, and Samborski moves past. But, well, Sanjay, do you think he's going to have damage from that?
From the camera shot we had from far away, didn't look like it. He would be really lucky if he has no damage from that contact. The car seems to be fine, so Ed should be definitely delighted to get away with it without any scratch. But really unfortunate for Francisco Ramirez, who's having a great race. Yeah, the car seems fine also from his onboard, so he definitely got very lucky there. And let's see the replay.
That's a bit like it's like Ricardo and Magnussen. Oh no, it's not really like that, but I was just thinking it's kind of like that. I don't think that exactly is a great example though. But yeah, not sure whose fault that was. Maybe it seemed like the car on the inside understeered slightly. But yeah, hopefully I think both of them, yeah, as you were saying before, Sanjay getting away without too much damage. Certainly seemed like Zamborski's pace down the straight through turn 13 was all right there, but that's not what he needed for the championship, and him and Olsen now over 5 seconds behind James Pinsker, who is the Joe who they need to beat. Pinsker came into this round as the championship leader, and well, as we were saying earlier on, whoever wins out of those guys tonight will probably win the championship. Certainly if Pinsker wins this race or beats those other two drivers, he will almost certainly win the championship. I mean, we can probably be 80–90% sure about that. So he's doing everything he needs to do at the moment, but he's got some quick guys behind him.
On board with James, with this beautiful reverse camera we have, looking at the drivers. We have a standard helmet for James. I bet Marco will soon switch to our familiar helmet camera. I get told it's Damon Hill helmet, but I was too young to remember, so I'm sorry. Marco definitely has a better knowledge of historic F1 drivers, and here we are with our beautiful Ed Samborski helmet, definitely smiling after that contact, not having any damage.
Yeah, borderline psychopathic, to be honest. If he's smiling after that contact. By the way, I mean Damon Hill's helmet engineer, or helmet designer, if he says something alongside, mate, you know, maybe it was a bit of a bland helmet, but it's iconic. So apologies that that one's been missed, but in the commentary box right there. It's a lovely car, yes, the yellow is very nice. Apparently, according to our friend and usual commentator, but it's Austin Knight, using his DRSs early is Pinsker. So he might be a bit vulnerable later on in this. In fact, he's almost looking a bit vulnerable right now, because Danny Calve is closing in. He could go for a move here, Calve, or he might just decide to wait behind. No, he is going to go for the move. Down the inside he goes. Will he be able to get the car stop? He's very deep. Oh, he's onto the grass. He'll have an awful exit from turn 2, but Pinsker can't really do a whole lot with it now, having to go the long way around. Now he'll have much better straight line speed here, but can the teammates work together with Garcia right on the tail? It's Calve still with the inside line down into turn 4. Pinsker leaves him room, and Pinsker down into 3rd position. It looks as though Garcia is going to move past as well.
Yeah, James needs to race for a good position, but at the same time not risk too much, because you don't want to be hit or have any contact at all. To get a clean race is mandatory today for him, since he has still a sizable gap on Samborski, who definitely has not damaged, since Sam previous lap set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:21.3.
Yeah, half a second faster than these guys, 3 tenths faster than the race leader. That's astonishing lap times there. as something's going on further back. Apologies if we missed this bounce because it's been pretty good this last couple of laps, but obviously, championship connotations and that. Orbrame is on the tail of Enrique right now. Or Henrique, apologies, he's from the United States of America, so I will pronounce the H in that case. I've got Byrne and Alicon further up. Oh, this is awesome to see this train of 5 cars. Alicon, I think he might be a bit of a sitting duck here. Byrne trying to weave about, stay in the tow and then pull out at the last moment, but in the end it wasn't possible for him. Meanwhile, further up, Pinsker, feel like this move is just a matter of time till he loses it. Look how Calvo sprinted away from these guys. And now Garcia, well, it's almost a carbon copy of the last lap. It didn't work out for Garcia on the last time, but he is pulling ahead. Much better run this time through turn 6. It's their contact. Oh, it was good driving right there from Garcia to open up the staying. He's still got the inside line, and Pinsker has to give way. Now it's Ilbrink who will be next up on the list. I'm sure they'll all use their DRS, but Pinsker, apologies, Ilbrink is, Pinsker is losing out in these battles at the moment. He's down to 5th now in the championship. It's getting closer.
Yes, Samborski moving up a place, manages to pass Do Carmo for 6th, and now he's only 1 second behind Ilbrink and James J. Pinsker, so the fight for the championship is getting definitely spicier as James whips behind the advanced car of Jorge Garcia. And as you were saying, Calvo opened up a gap of almost 3 seconds now, so fighting, going side by side, definitely helping the car number 7, who is still, I might say, 4.5 seconds behind our leader, who is definitely trying to prove himself as one of the best open wheelers drivers in the service. And doing a Long Beach 2.0, because in Long Beach he started first, shot the fastest lap of the race and dominated with a big gap that round.
It's absolutely got it all, hasn't he? I mean, to put it on pole, it's no easy feat, and he did it, fairly easily compared to the rest of the order. I mean, 0.2 of a second clear is a very nice lap. From Fuller, and he's had the race pace to back it up since then. Samborski's not having it easy from Do Carmo. Remember, Do Carmo passed Samborski earlier on in the race, and Samborski came under some more push from other drivers, made a bit of contact, but he's been able to pick up the pace as this race has gone on. And it's looking pretty good, and Do Carmo's a little bit of a pain at the moment, but he's got good straight line speed seemingly right there. Samborski being able to pull away from his rival. Ilbrink runs wide, and runs wide again, and he gets on the curb through turn 3. Well, that's a dreadful few corners there for Paul Ilbrink, and well, this could be easy for Samborski, maybe using a little bit of DRS right now. It's actually Ilbrink with the better straight line speed. Ilbrink hangs on to the position. They're all track extending though. They are limited to 17 incidents before they get a drive-through penalty. But Samborski, backing out on that one. Not too desperate to make the move right now, maybe.
That corner, Sam, is always very difficult. We've seen both in real life and here in the sim a lot of incidents like the one between Ramirez and Samborski. If you are fighting for a championship, you try to race aggressively, but as James is not really far, Ed needs to race a little bit with his head and not risk it too much, as we also are side by side between Enrique and Ramirez for 15th. Ramirez keeping the inside in the sweeping left-hander and maintaining P15. Now they will also have the draft, so it's gonna be a nice fight at the back, but let's keep an eye on these guys all the way from 3rd to 7 in more or less 2 seconds. Here is where the championship fight is developing, with Pinsker in 4th, Samborski in 6th, and Greg also in 8th.
Yeah, Austin Struggling to do too much to these guys at the moment. Pinska's kind of regrouped. He had those dreadful 3 laps where he literally lost 5 seconds with the batsling that he had. He was doing 23s and yeah, I think he did 22 and then a couple of 23s when he was normally in the high 21s. Is Pinska, so lost loads of time. Has regrouped and looking like it was really coming towards Zamborski. The momentum has kind of shifted. Zamborski needs to shift Ilbrink right now if he's going to be able to ensure they can catch and pass. Pinska doesn't look like he's faster, which is pretty remarkable seeing that he nearly lost his front wing with that contact that he had earlier on with Ramirez. It was back at that time. Lopez has had an off. The turn 12 it seems. Oh, that's a long way from the track.
Yeah. Thankfully he didn't. Yeah, indeed, he didn't look for a access road to come back on track. Let's see if we can get the replay. There we go. Let's see if it's a matter of mustard. Oh yes, the curve definitely did not help him. And got a bit lucky because he hit inside. Paul Ilbrink dropping a few positions. But we were watching the replay, mistake probably from Paul. Relegated him back to P8. Let's see, Zamborski side by side. Did he concede the position?
It's not the same thing, is it?
Oh boy.
That was almost Zamborski out of the race.
Oh yeah. The throttle brake technique always working beautifully on iRacing. Saved Ilbrink and many other drivers from retiring early on from this event, as we have a 5-way battle for 12th place. This is absolutely amazing. Aburam going in 12th position behind Ramirez, Byrne, Enrique and Jamie Byrne. These guys always put up a great show wherever they are in the field. We have always a lot of trouble to keep up with all the changing positions. Now Aburam and Ramirez side by side for 12th place. Japanese driver on the outside, Ramirez on the inside, trying to recover from the mistake happened earlier on. And there he goes. P12 for Ramirez. It definitely looks like that he has a more pace compared to these drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Enrique was at the front of that pack just a few moments before, and then he ran way too wide when not really under too much pressure through turn 10, I think it was. And yeah, all of a sudden got away from him very quick, and he's now at the back there, and they have started to separate a little bit out from one another. So yeah, Fuller still leading, Calvé, Garcia in third place, Pinska with some more good lap times at the moment, staying in the 21s. And Zamborski, whilst he's got no cars now between himself and Pinska, he has got 1.7 seconds to catch up. And this is where Pinska's got to think, do I overtake this guy? And try to get up the road. He is going to try to overtake. Oh, that's a brilliant move right to the pit wall. And he is clear. Brilliant move there from Pinska, and how this race has ebbed and flowed for Pinska and Zamborski, both overtaken by other drivers in the early stages, but they're both been able to retaliate later on in the race, and Pinska's back in with a chance of a podium.
Absolutely, and it's very important for James to keep a car in between him and Ed, just to maintain a gap, even if Ed slowly might catch him. At least he will have first to pass Jorge, and then he will take care of him, as Ed is looking very strong after a slow start. He's picking up the pace and getting a lot of positions up, as we have Enrique and Ramirez around. It's always the same spot.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. Turn 4's been the problem spot. I think this is two different incidents, isn't it? So Enrique has lost it. Oh, that's a very easy mistake to make. I guess he got. I mean, I'm gonna maybe be slightly generous to him. I think he probably got put off. I know I would, where I'd be looking ahead, thinking, "Oh wow, I've just gained a place, guys," and then spin it by himself. And that was that was Ramirez. Slightly different to the other incidents we've seen there, as Vasiliev was just getting past Reed right there. You might see a move, but Ilbrink on Olsen. Olsen just not as quick as his championship rivals tonight. Ilbrink, after that spin earlier on, does make up a place as a backup into 7th.
Yeah, we know Greg is focusing a lot on the new IR01, as also plenty of other drivers are doing, trying to switch from Renault 3.5 to the new Dallara. And I can tell you that Ben Fuller is definitely looking at the World Championship, as you were saying earlier. He told us that he's trying to build up some iRating to be competitive in the qualifiers coming up, I think, this year. So it's gonna be very interesting to see these drivers that we weekly see here on Apex Racing TV in the Formula 3.5 iRacing Challenge to try to make to climb the World Championship ladder and see them compete in the highest levels of iRacing.
Yeah, and this is probably the car to go to at the moment. I mean, the IR01's going to have some improvements next season, which look like they're going to address some of the problems that the car currently faces. But in terms of certainly this season and in terms of the raceability, I think this is the car to go for at the moment. But yeah, we'll be interested to see some of these guys give their hand at trying to get into the Pro Championship. Certainly, Fuller, I think, with the potential. I mean, he's already 6.5k is Fuller. I mean, that just shows how high you need to get your iRating up to be in the top split of these races. He really wants to get probably to 8k or so just to make sure that he can get into the top split of the qualifiers. That will be where the big points are available. When we get later on in the year, Samborski is flying along. That last lap, he was half a second faster than Pinsker. So now, after it seemed to be ebbing towards Pinsker, as he got a car between himself and his championship rival, Samborski returns the favour, and he's closing in on these guys. So Garcia, a bit of an intruder in this one. He's got not much to lose really, and he could well be a pivotal individual in this championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the moment Jorge is James' best ally, having his car in front of Ed. We have still 9 laps left of this final round of the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship, and we have a great fight between James J. Pinsker and Ed Samborski for the title. And we also need to remember that Greg Olson is also in this. It's a bit further away on the track, but only 4 seconds. So if anything happens between these drivers, he's not out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he could certainly still win this championship, but if he can maybe get a top 5, that might be enough. Because they do have other races during the week to these drivers. Albeit this is going to be the highest balance of performance, as Garcia moves back up into 3rd position. There was nothing Pinsker could do about that one. That was easy for the Iberian driver. He's back up into 3rd place. Samborski, 0.3 of a second behind, won't be able to pass him into turn 4. But Pinsker right in the jaws of the shark now. He wants to get back past Garcia nice and quick so he can get that buffer back. But Samborski does look like the quickest of these 3 drivers.
And now it's gonna be very interesting. The first real battle between James J. Pinsker and Edward Samborski today here in Interlagos. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this fight develops, as Docarmo and Ilbrink and Olson 6, 7, 8 place are more than 2 seconds behind. These guys have plenty of room to play with, but they definitely need to keep the pace very, very high, because you don't want to give the chance to Greg Olson and the drivers behind to join this pack. Would make things even more difficult for the title contenders.
Thanks to everyone in the chat who's been giving their math caps on, and I just had math caps. Oh dear, maths caps right there. Yes, letting us know what the championship connotations are, and of course, yeah, they've got a good point, 26 points or something. The gap is at the moment, so probably, if Samborski could get ahead of Penske, he needs to put at least Garcia between himself and Penske in order to win the championship, and probably would need a couple more cars than that in order to change things. But we can only do as much as he can Samborski, and to get third place would be a good effort. Of course, something could always happen to Fuller and Calway to give another place. Still, we're waiting for iRacing to add the function where you can see how many DRSs the drivers have got left, because the DRS has been such a fundamental part of this race so far. You can use it for such a long period of time, from turn 12 to turn 1. That is very important, so it could easily change if Samborski has been able to save up some DRSs. As we are seeing, Olsen has kept up with Ilbrink. Docamo was very quick earlier on, quite being able to keep up, as well, it looks like we're going to have another change of position here. This time Garcia does defend against Penske, and actually Penske is going to have to be behind down into turn 1. He's not going to be able to get this move done, and yeah, it is Garcia who holds on to that place. But yeah, Penske is very close. Unfortunately, he's going to have to make his moves pretty soon. We've got 6 laps to go.
Yeah, these 6 laps will be definitely very, very, very intense, as James is looking to get one car at least in between him and Ed. I would also like to remember that if you are new to iRacing, or you would like to get into this series, you can also use our own Apex Racing Academy for your setups, track guides, coaching sessions, not particularly for this car, but for more popular series. You can check everything at Apex Racing Academy website, which is apexracingac.com, and also remember that it is integrated with the VRS, Virtual Racing School, so you can find actually everything on one single website, which is also our sponsor on Apex Racing TV, that make everything happen.
Yeah, big thanks to those guys. But Austin Knight has pointed out that I think I said something about balance of performance. Apologies if I said something about balance of performance. I know what I was talking about. Yeah, they are all the same car. We haven't got a Jordan out on site. That is just a Formula 355 car with a Jordan livery, so apologies for that misinformation, if there was any. But no, all absolutely identical out there. Samborski, yeah, 2/10 of a second behind. A little bit of opposite lock through the first part of turn 6. Alright, it's looking pretty close now. Penske has been, well, I think all these guys are running similar trim. To be honest, maybe Penske, I think, just with the edge down the straights. It is tricky to judge, especially when it's not clear who is using DRS and who is not. But Samborski, yeah, we're trying to line this one up at the moment. Penske 4/10 of a second behind Garcia, going through turn 12. This could be another opportunity at the overtake if he decides to use the DRS. Still very close between Docamo, Ilbrink and Olsen behind as well. Samborski just cannot get close enough. But I feel like this is still dive range. If he wants to go for the dive, he could certainly go for it. Yeah, maybe it's a bit too early to go for that at the moment. All over the exhaust of his rival ahead. So he races through turn 3 for the 24th time in this race.
Yeah, great battle for 4th place. James having the slipstream from Garcia, but at the same time also the dirty air, which is playing always a very big part in Formula 3.5 races, as Pinsker looks at inside of Garcia and now looks vulnerable to an attack from Samborski. Samborski tried to look at inside, but he can't make a move stick. Pinsker almost around, clipped the curve, and this slowed down him, Samborski, and gave the chance now also to the other drivers that were behind to close the gap. So also now is also very, very close to these guys. We have now 5 cars in a train for 4th place, and all 3 title contenders are nose to tail.
Well, Samborski's front wing must be made out of like vibranium or something. It's absolutely insane how he's still got it as he moves ahead of his championship rival. Can he get stopped? No, coming back down the inside his Penske. He doesn't want to let this one go, but it's a lovely overtake from Edward Samborski to move up into 4th position. This could be crucial for the championship. However, Penske is not going to let this one go anytime soon. He might be boxed in though. We are going to go 3 wide down into turn 4. Looking to the inside, he's gone down the inside the pad. Oh, right off the circuit goes Penske. Where's he rejoining? He is alongside still, but it's Samborski ahead. Penske still with part of his car alongside, but it's Samborski who sweeps through turn 6 and up ahead. Ulbrink as well moves ahead of Docamo, but he runs wide. Docamo will be able to hold on to that one. It might actually be Olsen, more of the driver on the attack now. What a frantic final 3 laps to this championship.
Yeah, Marco, can you make something happen and give us some few extra laps in this race? Because this is very, very nice, so exciting. We definitely do not want to see this ending because we have only 2 laps left. We would like to see this going even for more time. As Samborski now will have to defend from Pinsker, not having the slipstream. He's gonna definitely give him a hard time. He blocks him on the side, and Pinsker will have to go all the way around on the outside. Now he has the inside on this right-hander. Samborski gets the inside curve and gets a very good exit. Docamo moving up into 5th place, really able to clear also Samborski for 4th.
Oh, there's contact, I think, a little bit of netcode contact, but Docamo managed to keep hold of it. Oh, he's got to make contact. Pinsker makes contact now with his front wing, and there's one car between the championship rivals now. Olsen still just relying on these guys taking each other up. We've got a lap and a half to go to show you decide who's going to take this championship. And it's Samborski's got a little bit of a gap now, but Pinsker, how unlucky was he there? He really set his car up nicely to turn 1. Poor exit though from 2, and it allowed Docamo pass. And once again, Samborski running a little bit wide though through turn 10. He just cannot get out of draft range from these drivers. As followers going through turn 13, it's about to start the final lap of the season. Docamo is going to be under huge pressure. They're going to all be using the DRS if they've got any left down into turn 1 in a desperate bid for track position.
Yeah, we're sorry for Ben Fuller, but the action unfortunately today is all the way here in 4th, 5th, 6th place. Pinsker looking to make a move very soon on Docamo, but it's Docamo trying to make a move on Samborski. He might be the one changing up the cars in the last lap for the championship. Docamo will have to go around the outside in this turn 4, which has been very, very treacherous so far in this race. James J. Pinsker looks at making 3 wide, but it's not gonna work, and Samborski will defend before.
Great effort there from Samborski. He might be free here. The overtaking opportunity is running out, but if they do have a DRS and their rival doesn't have a DRS available, then maybe they could get the run to the line as well. So it's still possible to have more overtaking in the closing stages of this. I think we'll probably just stick with these guys to the end. We know that Fuller's going to win this, but this is for the championship. We think Pinsker's in a good enough position as it is to win this title, but if Ulbrink could get past, then that might be just enough to swing the points the other way. But it's Docamo who cannot catch up to Samborski, and Docamo's going to be under pressure right to the line. They're always going to be alongside on the final corner.
James Pisker with a great exit. It's gonna be a drag race, probably a three-way finish on the start-finish line. James Pisker on the side will get 5th place from Docarmo, 6th Docarmo, 17th, bring 8th Olson. We will have to wait for the updated standings later in a few minutes, but here is our race winner. Not much TV time for him today, but well-deserved win for Ben Full. He came here in Brazil and conquered the trophy here at Interlagos, but what a amazing season finale here at Autódromo do Carlos Pace. It's gonna be a very intense few moments now till we get the official results from iRacing.
Yes, that's going to be pretty big. Our broadcaster, Marco Balbonero, with a certainly working hard there to keep us up to date with all the action, but that was proper. What a nice way to end the season. I mean, I've only caught bits of this season, but I think that's how we wanted it to end. Hopefully everyone back home enjoyed watching that one. We certainly did up in the commentary box, and the championship rivals going at battle right at the end. That was some frantic, but on the most part, very clean racing.
Absolutely. Here are the race results for this final broadcast race of the season for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. Ben Fuller is our race winner. Dominating performance for him, starting all the way from pole position. He picked up a very sizable lead already in the opening laps. Second place for Dani Calvo, third Jorge Garcia for a double pony for Zenith Racing. Edward Samborski is fourth in front of James J. Pisker. This might be the result that will shape the standings of the championship. We will wait and see. Sixth place for Fabio Docarmo, 7 Paul Hilbrink, Greg Olson in 8th. A disappointing race for Greg, still in the hunt for the championship, but he will definitely not be able to get it at least this season. Phil Reed in 9th, Pavel Vasiliev in 10th, Alarcon, Aburam, Byrne, Enrique, and Jamie Byrne in 15th. Ramirez in 16 is the last driver on the lead lap. Jorge Lopez and Robert Arton are the two drivers that unfortunately did not finish today. Oh boy. So while we try also to investigate on the official point scoring of this race, we might even start to do some interviews, as we have already our race winner here with us. Ben, how are you doing? Another great performance to round up the season here at Interlagos.
Yeah, thank you guys. A little bit of mixed emotions, to be honest. First and foremost, thank you to Michael Overbay for the work that he put into the setup this week. Our base set I was not very happy with, so I think he put some good time in and really found what I was looking for. So anything that I did out there was anything negative that I did out there was all because of me and not because of the set, and I'm really thankful for that. But you know, last week I performed so poorly, and I was very disappointed with that. And I've been thinking about this race for probably a week straight now, nonstop. And I really set some fairly high but attainable goals this week. And to be honest, I feel like a couple of those were not met. I'm not very happy with my pace. I felt like I had 2 or 3 tenths out there for sure. And I feel like it was nearly all caused by just letting the nerves get to me. Didn't feel like I ever settled down and was making some minor mistakes out there and losing pace. And then when you make mistakes, you get in your head about it, and it's just a negative cycle. But I'm very happy with the win. This group of guys is incredibly talented, 5K SOF, so I'm happy with the result, but I feel like I didn't put my best race out there today, and I'm pretty disappointed with that.
Well, it's very interesting, and we appreciate you being really honest with us, because the results definitely show a different side of the story, but I know you are very competitive, and these races are very important to you in building up your racecraft for the upcoming World Championship in the IR1, at least the qualifiers. So are we gonna see you also next season, or are you going to focus more on the updated New Dallara car?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I came over to this series mainly because I felt like it was going to be a good one to use to build up the iRating. I definitely have gotten that out of the series. I really enjoy the car. I feel like the broadcast is great. It's a great series. But, you know, the main goal here is to get to the World Championship, and that car is going to be the Dallara IR1. So the main focus beginning of the season and preseason is going to be IR1 related to see where the changes are. Try to get used to that car. But if I feel like the participation is dropping off and I haven't met that iRating target that I've set, I'm definitely willing to come back because this series offers a lot of great racing on the SOF Saturdays, and I think I could see myself coming back to enjoy some racing over here for sure.
Well, before we let you go, Ben, anyone you would like to thank?
Well, I've already thanked Michael Overbay, but big thanks to him again. Thank you guys for the broadcast this season. It's been great. I've enjoyed some of the races that I've come over here and done. You guys have been really welcoming, and I appreciate that. So thank you guys.
That was Ben Fuller, our race winner. But now, Sam, as we get told by Team Delisle on our stream chat that Ed Samborski, by his counts, so it's not official, but we take it with as a almost granted, as Team is a very reputable source. He should be the winner by 9 points. So he should be our iRacing Formula 3.5 champion. Let's bring him up, and Eddie will be right on Sam's side for the quick chat.
Yes, Eddie. Well, that was stressful, wasn't it? We believe you may have won the championship. We're not sure, but what do you know? Do you think you've just clinched it?
I knew the only chance I had was to finish in front of both James and Greg, and that's a tall order on any day, and especially today with the skyrocketing track temps and my absolutely abysmal qualifying performance. I have no idea, to be honest with you, because of the drop weeks. According to my team, I have it by 9 points, but that could be optimistic enthusiasm doing the math, missing something. I don't know. Either way, the winners here are the people watching, because I cannot wait to watch that race back. I know I was a little over aggressive, and I usually preach against that kind of thing, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, there's a few different calculations coming in. On iRacing it says that James has got 1 more point than you, but we're not totally sure, so we won't call it either way. How's the front wing? Because we saw you get in a couple of collisions out there. Were you damaged at all out there, or despite that were you able to keep it clean throughout?
I absolutely think I was damaged. I think my right front got knocked in, and I think I have some damage on the wing, because the car wasn't 100%. I really had to be in the draft, and I was keeping that in the back of my mind that, I don't want to be the lead car. And then, with a couple to go, I ended up being the lead car, and I was like, oh no, this isn't good. And I felt exceptionally slow in the corners. I have no idea what the lap times were. I wasn't checking, but I felt like I was down a little bit of pace.
You've been working at this car for a few seasons now. Can we expect you to see you back for next season to either defend your crown or potentially to take it from James?
I really like driving the car. I've been working a lot on being more consistent while being quick. So I'm hoping that, I can just continually improve and just build from here.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you the best of luck, Eddie, and thanks for giving us a fantastic championship for Nye. If you look at the YouTube chat, some people very impressed by the racing that was shown. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to thank my team for putting up with me, and if I have a bad day and freak out, they calm me down. If I got to thank VRS for the wheelbase. I bought it, but it's a very good product. I enjoy using it. Thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and thank all the rest of the drivers for showing up. Apart from Porsche Cup, I think we regularly have a pretty strong strength of field, so should be a good show.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Eddie, and hope to see you back very soon. The states in the championship, then I hinted to it, but at the moment on iRacing, on the iRacing official series standings, it says James J. Pinsker, 1,821 points, Edward A. Samborski, 1,820 points. 1 point in it, we believe may have been the championship, and half a tenth of a second. Of course, Pinsker managed to hold off Dokame at the finish line. That is how close we believe it was, and I think we might be able to have a chat with James right now. He's standing by with Alessandro.
Well, James, 1 point apparently is the gap, so couldn't be smaller than that.
Yeah, I can't. I miss the words. I don't have the words, man. When you look at the standings, 1,821 points plays 1,820 points to end out the season. You can't write that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to give a red card to Team Delay for providing fake news because he made a calculation error
I saw that.
and misled.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't write that though. That it's like who's won it? It's like 2008, Massa and Hamilton. They don't know who's won it.
The counts.
Stop the count. We don't know. We didn't know who won it. But I think I'm not even 100% sure. I need to check the website myself. I think yeah, 1 point. Season long.
That was a heck of a race.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it really. You can't. I mean, me and obviously Edward, we have quite a friendly relationship off the track, as well as like Fabio, Paul, a couple of Spanish guys up there as well. I mean, we all know each other quite well, and obviously we're quite good friends normally, and we pay. I mean, you can see it countless times, just showing each other respect on track because we know we have faith in the other's abilities, and we have faith that we can work together and not do anything stupid. But in those last few laps, if I dare say, I think everyone there we were completely stupid. Every single corner, all 4 of us, 5 of us, all of us in that train, just throwing it into every corner. I'm sure to watch. I mean, I said I'd try and put on a show, but I think that was a bloody good show. That me and Ed, I think we had a few contacts. I think he hit me in the back in the middle sector, which kind of tapped me and made me lose the slipstream to the guy ahead, which I was pretty angry about at the time. But you know, I guess it happens. And then I think I hit him when he did a bit of a late move on the straight, but maybe I should have got out of the throttle. There's a bit of red mist. Maybe I should have got out of the throttle at that point. And then turn 4 as well. So many side-by-side moments there. But then at the end of it all, it comes down to Fabio in the last corner. Just made a mistake. Just went in the last corner of the race, the last corner of the 12-week season. Goes a bit wide. Gives me the run that just lets me get in front up onto the line. You really couldn't ride it, taking the place by half a tenth. And then, obviously, all 4 of us finishing the race inside like 2 tenths from P5 down to P8. It's absolute mess of a race. But I think I just got it over the line. Whew.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We will see in a few when iRacing will be fully updated and be 100% sure who is gonna be the championship winner. But this season has been really incredible, and thanks to all you guys for giving us and also the viewers such an amazing season. Anyone you would like to thank, James?
Thanking people. Who do I have to thank? I thank everyone for, I don't know, watching the season. I guess you guys will probably have a good time watching this, seeing we've had so many different contenders, so many different drivers fighting up towards the front this time. quite a lot of good battles. I mean, maybe from the last few seasons when Tim Dalal has been here, just winning most races and winning the championship by 300 points. Maybe me and Ed, and obviously Greg as well. Commiserations to Greg. He was in the championship fight as well going into this race, but he was always just a little bit too far back, a little bit too far down the train really to do anything. Yeah, I hope we put on a good show today, and I'd like to thank those guys for giving a good season. Like thank Apex Racing TV for broadcasting all the races. I've been racing in this since 19S4, so that's like 6 seasons of me driving this car and driving in these races. I've definitely done about 50 or 60 of these broadcasts now, and I never thought that I'd become the champion. I never thought that I'd be able to do that. So to be able to do it by 1 point, crossing over the finish line like that, is a great feeling. And yeah, I'm really pumped. Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much, James. And I think I would also like to thank for Sam Fitzpatrick, Austin Knight, for giving him the chance to join us tonight, because not a better race to join us in the boot, Sam, than the season finale.
Yeah, it was about. Honestly, this is like probably the best season finale I've never done. The post championship analysis that we're having to do. More news on the score. So the iRacing scores 1 point in it, and also we've had the scores from another source as well, which takes into account all the different formulas and the drop scores and whatever. They have the same results. So it does like increasingly looks like James Pinsker has won the championship by 1 point. I'm still hesitant about that one, but yeah, it looks like James has beaten Edward by that solitary point. Sanjay,
So plenty of racing coming up tomorrow on our screens from beautiful Interlagos. I am Alessandro Dalle Donne. Sam Fitzpatrick with me in the commenter booth, and Marco Babanera. We wish you, wherever you are in the big world, a good day, afternoon or night.